I'm gonna find. And I'm gonna kill. Every last one of them.
Hi guys, Left-Handed Gamer here. Welcome back to the channel. I appreciate it's been a solid 8 months without a single upload. That's on me, my bad. But the reason behind it is I've been streaming over on Twitch. Again, I'll put all the details and stuff in the description. Maybe I'm popping around here, whatever, but you'll get the links anyhow. I started that in January and I've been consistently streaming now Monday, Tuesdays and Thursdays with a few odd extra days thrown in there here and there, but mainly between 8 PM and 11 PM. I feel it's going to better represent me as a gamer as opposed to what YouTube will offer. So YouTube, I'm going to concentrate more around this type of videos, reviews, some funny videos that I might find, and the occasional montage that I like to edit, because I do like editing footage. That is something I want to do, but I don't want the channel to become spammed with the same game over and over and over again of me, for argument's sake, going to play a Warzone. Oh, we've got a victory, here you go. I don't want to do that. There's plenty of channels that do that and they seem to be successful enough in their own right. I don't want that. So here we are. We're going to talk about The Last of Us 2. So it's going to be the first structured video of this kind. So please, if you do like it, let me know. If you don't like it, please also let me know, because it will help me tweak and adjust it to your viewing pleasure as it is. So it's been a number of years since The Last of Us was released to The Last of Us 2. I'm kind of grateful for that, if I'm honest. I think the waiting for the release as long as it were maybe been a bit too long. I don't know. Now that they're both here, I'm kind of glad, because I've obviously got to play the story and see what's happened since the first one. I don't know whether you're aware, but The Last of Us 2 was delayed a number of times due to the dev issues and such like. Again, I don't mind. I would much rather wait an entire year for a game to be released and it be right, as opposed to, I'm not going to mention games, but as opposed to another game being released and it being patchy. It just leaves a sour taste. It's first impressions. You open that game, you've paid you know top dollar money for some of these AAA titles. You get it, you've got patches to install because they let it leave factory with bugs. It's not on. So not only then can you not have, you're dependent upon having an internet connection for a start if you want your game to be stable at release, which is unacceptable in my eyes. The game should be as is from the moment it leaves the factory, the production line. It is ready to sell, not it's 90% there but we'll release a 10% patch later on. No. Anyhow, well done Naughty Dog for getting that bit right. So the game itself, yeah, it's incredible. Absolutely incredible. I loved it from start to finish. There's no denying that. Could it be better? If it could, I don't know how. I don't know how. We'll go through the story. So before we do though, because obviously we're going to spoilers, we'll do the rating scorecards now, which is going to be like a new little feature of the channel. So we'll go through those now, and then what we'll do is once we've done that, we'll go into the spoilers and we can start talking a bit more in depth about the game. So if you've just tuned in and you got to this point, it's probably a good time to know whether to buy it or not. Buy it, and then after that we'll go into more in depth and we'll talk about it from there. So yeah, as I was saying, scorecards then. So the scorecards are going to be a new feature. So it's 1 out of 5, and essentially you just get a fist bump for how good it is. So 5 being the best, 1 being the worst. So they've got 4 categories I like. First one is being the story mode. Now the story mode in this for me is easily a 5. It's just a 5. Straight out, amazing story. The build up to the way that it changes mid-section to the end, loved it. Again, we'll get into the middle part a little bit later after this section, and we can go into to why the middle part might be a bit questionable for some of you, but for me it was absolutely fine. Next on the hit list then is multiplayer. So multiplayer for this game at launch is non-existent at the minute, but I believe it is coming. For me, I'm going to give this a 2 regardless, not because I haven't played it or think it'll only be any good or nothing like that. It's not a game I see myself playing as a competitive online game. I just don't. It might be fun for a few games. I don't know. just I don't think it would appeal to me. Will I play it when multiplayer is released? Like I say, probably not. Hence why it's getting a 2. I'm sure it's good in its own right, but it's the same as the Uncharted games. Love the campaign, multiplayer. It just wasn't my type of game for a multiplayer shooter. Next then we've got replayability. Replayability then is, can I keep coming back to this game and play it over and over and over again? And the answer to this one is no. Not I can hear you already. What do you mean? It's a great game, but you don't want to play it again? No, it is, but I'm not going to come back to it every single day. That's just not. I've played through the campaign now. I've spent 40 plus hours playing that. Is it something I'm going to come back and play again anytime soon? No. It's not. I'm going to allow the story to sink in. It's like your favourite movie. You watch it, but you don't watch it every single day. And I feel that's what this is. It's an incredible game with an incredible story with so much controversy. It's just not even fathomable at points. And I'll come back to it in 6 months' time, maybe even a year, and replay it again, and it'll be fantastic. But that's another point, actually, I'll get onto while I'm on it. Coming back to it in 12 months. So we're coming to the end of the life of the PS4. And it's one hell of a send-off for PS4 with this game. Visually, it's just impeccable. And I see this as a marketing tool for Naughty Dog and Rockstar and such like that, because they do this with their games, and it bugs me. It absolutely bugs me. Let's take GTA 4 for example. It's GTA 5, sorry, for example. They released it on the PS3. They then released it on the PS4. They waited God knows how long, released it on PC. And then guess what you're going to get on the PS5? A remastered version. So you're going to, you're basically buying, if you're a fool, the game 4 times. It's ridiculous. And that is exactly what they're doing here. They're following that business model. We've got, I'm telling you, The Last of Us 2 runs at, I'm being generous, 30 frames. There are points where it is blurry, and if you've been playing, 170 plus frames on Call of Duty Modern Warfare, such like, it's looking crisp, and then you come back down to this console 30 frame. It's visually hard. It really is difficult to get immersed in it. Not to say the game isn't good looking, because it is. I just wish it had more frames. And here's the stinger. I guarantee it, you've heard it here first. PS5 will drop, and so will the Last of Us 2 remaster at 60 frames or whatever it is they'll do. I wouldn't even be surprised if it's already done. It's already done, made, ready to go, and it's just waiting for the launch of the PS5. That will happen. Fact. They did it with the PS3 with The Last of Us 1, remastered it for the PS4. They'll do the same again here, and that's frustrating. That's frustrating. Anyhow, going back to the scorecards. The last one then, sorry, I didn't even give the score. So replayability, I'm going to give it 2. 2 out of 5. Again, not because it's a bad game and I don't want to keep playing it. It's just, it's not a game I'm going to come back to day in, day out as a regular game to play. It's get immersed in the story, get wound up with some of the parts in it, like the storyline, enjoy some of the other more scenic, beautiful parts, and then, yeah, see it through. I think, yeah, we'll get onto the story of it in a minute anyhow. So the last one then, is it gripping? Yeah. What I mean by that is can I sit here for 5 to 10 hours if I want to without needing a break? Yeah, the game is so in depth. It's frustrating. It's got its difficulty moments and some weird parts that you just think, why is this so hard? It shouldn't be this hard, but no, it is totally gripping, and for that I'm giving it a 5, definitely. So yeah, you can see all those down the side of the screen now. But yeah, what a game! What a game! So let's talk about spoilers then. So if you've just tuned in and you don't want to hear spoilers, sorry, this would be the point of the video to stop. So there'll be some sort of spoiler alert. Main game then. As we all know, the controversy in this game are insane, absolutely insane. Where to even begin? From violent deaths to murdering dogs, to lesbo scenes, to I don't even know. There's so many topics and points to cover. It's just a lot. But yeah, let's start with the main punchline, shall we? You start off a few years on from The Last of Us 1. life is all good in Jackson and such like. You're finding your routine and getting a few more responsibilities around the Jackson site, if you will, which was the big town that you've seen in the end of The Last of Us 1. And the Fireflies at this point in the game are non-existent, so you know we continue. And there's this girl called Abby. Now she like her all over, I don't know, that's up to you. She is the daughter to the surgeon that was going to operate on Ellie in the first one, and of course we all know what happens there. Joel goes on a rampage and just kills everybody, and as a result the Fireflies take a massive blow and the cure does not get developed, and Ellie obviously lives on. Abby naturally is looking for revenge. She's you know, seeking Joel out, and she wants revenge. And this is where the whole controversy of the stories come into play. Of they're no better than each other. You know, let's be honest. Let's be real for a second here. Joel is not a good guy. Like, as much as you may love him, you know, like him, whatever, you played the first one with him, but he's not a good guy. I mean, if you were like me in the first one, you burst into that surgery room and you pretty much set fire to people. It's, you know, this is mankind's cure from this little girl, and your selfishness, ultimately, your selfishness, because you lost your daughter, you've built up this bond and a relationship with Ellie, you don't want her to die, and you know, that's commendable in itself that you don't want her to go, but you've just stolen mankind's potentially only chance of a cure against this zombie plague, if you will. That said, I do happen to like Joel, but like I say, he's not a good guy. And the same can be said about Abby. She's not a good girl. She's done some bad things, and you see that as the game plays out. And she tries to better herself to become more likable by the player. There's a section obviously in the game. So the plot line, if you will, you play Ellie for a set bit to get, you know, the whole storyline pick up where we've left off in The Last of Us 1. You go to Seattle to seek revenge, because ultimately Abby does kill Joel. Spoiler alert, did warn you. To seek revenge with Abby. There's 3 days in Seattle where you play as Ellie. Then it cuts over when it gets to a crucial point to Abby, and you play for 3 days, the same 3 days in Seattle as Abby, and her storyline, if you will, timeline during those 3 days. You then reach the same concluding part, and then the game picks up from there. And for me, it did feel like playing two different games. You know, when you're playing as Ellie to when you're playing as Abby. Abby definitely gets a lot more, what can we say, a better equipment. She's got slightly few more skills. Obviously she's got a strength, so she can take on a bit more of the bigger zombies, etc., with a little bit more ease over Ellie. But then Ellie's got the stamina and the speed. More important, I think she's got the skill. I think she's a bit more craftier than Abby. Abby's a bit more of the brute force. So yes, their two timelines collide. Bit of a kerfuffle, bit of a fight. They end up separated and going their own ways for the time being, and Ellie naturally can't accept that. She can't accept what's happened. You know, Abby ultimately must die. You know, and that's probably what should have happened, should it not? You know, should have just pumped pumped Abby full of lead and be done with it. Maybe, maybe not. It doesn't pan out like that though, and yeah, the story progresses. Ellie decides she has to seek revenge. She has to seek, you know, justice for Joel, and she goes hunting for her yet again. This time all on her own, and she finds her. And this is the part I think the writers at Naughty Dog got it right, because I don't know how you would end it. I don't know of an alternative ending to what happened other than Abby just dying. I think it ends very cleverly, if I'm fair, because there is the possibility of a third one now. I imagine there probably will be. What happens? Abby's going to go and find the Fireflies, because obviously there's a camp with 200 plus, you know, soldiers now, whatever they want to call themselves. So yeah, I want to see that develop. But what about Ellie? She is the cure potentially, so she is immune. That's, you know. So how does that all play out? Abby knows about Ellie, but anyway, they have this, you know, Abby goes hunting for it. Can't even spit my names out, sorry. Ellie goes hunting for Abby, and when she finds her, basically Abby and her friend are on death row. They're pretty much dying out. They're on these posts on the beach. and yeah, she cuts him down and starts to kick crap out of her in the beach, if you will. And yeah, it's a close fight. Ellie, get my names right, James. Ellie gets the upper hand, starts to strangle her, and to the point where you think she's going to go through with it, she's going to do it, and she doesn't. She accepts the fate of what's happened, the ramifications of Joel's actions, her actions. It's just death and violence. It's all she knows, and she accepts. This is it. This is, you know, this is going to be the outcome. And of course, if you haven't seen it, or if you have seen it, Abby at this point, sorry, is all gaunt. She's lost so much weight. A lot of her muscle mass is gone. So you know, it's a fairly easy fight for Ellie, because she's you know, not in that position, but she's quite wounded and such like. So it's a good scrap, and I love the way that the opening boat scene when you first launch the game. You know, it's very minimalistic. You've got the start menu, and that's it. That's it. Push the start button, and it's this boat in this dark water, and that's the beach at the end. You know, when you walk down with Abby and Ellie, I think that's brilliant. And then you get in your individual boats, and you go off and you do your own things. Fantastic. When Ellie arrives back to Jackson, the whole animation for that start scene now changes to a much brighter one for the ending. I just think those little touches are fantastic. As you can probably see from the border of this video, I've done the start and the end of that throughout this review. So yeah, this is good. The game introduced mechanics to you, so it could have just stuck you in a training range and gone, oh, here you go, here's how you know, fire a bow or throw something. Instead, it incorporated into the story in a very fluid motion, I found. So at the very beginning, excuse me, the actions for picking up and throwing and such like are done through the mechanics of a snowball fight. It's just a nice little quirk. You then eventually, as playing as Ellie, you get the bow and arrow. Again, when you come out of the garage, you've got these dummies there, and you can target practice, and it's just incorporated into the story, and I think that's brilliant. I think that's a very unique way to introduce these new mechanics and skills to you without making it feel like you're in a game and I've got to practice these bits in order to progress, because it doesn't. It does that bit very well. Next then, they've introduced boats, so you're now able to get in the speedboat and zim around. It's not for the entirety of the game, it's definitely for a proportion of it, but that's there now. I quite like that. It's yeah, it's another little unique thing they've added, and obviously the ability to swim and stuff is with that now. Yeah, just another little extra that I like. There's a flashbacks moment where you're playing as Ellie and you're with Joel. It's your, I don't know how old you are at this point, but it's your birthday, and he takes you to a dinosaur museum. You then get the you know, the massively iconic space shuttle part now, where he's got the tape, she's got it in her headphones, and she launches off into space. It's just such a beautiful moment where everything else is non-existent. Naturally, as the game progresses, we come across into different zombies, different monsters. They've evolved. A lot more time has progressed since the first one, so naturally so should the zombies progress and evolve and become bigger and uglier and smellier, etc. And there's this particular one in the garage of the hospital as you're playing Abby. Oh, it's an absolute beast. The thing took me God knows how long to take down, and yeah, it's a welcome change to the game. I like it. You know, definitely a shit your pants moment when it appears. You're running through the ambulance, kicking the door open to get out and get away from it. It's good. Yeah, things like that in the game make it worthwhile. That's just what makes the game, having those jump scares in there, and because ultimately it is a little bit of the Walking Dead-esque, isn't it? You know, the zombies are one part of the whole story, but ultimately it's the people that are the real bad guys. Yeah, overall, thumbs up. Go and buy the game, enjoy it, love it, whatever. But yeah, gets my seal of approval. So yeah, guys, until next time, I'll see you later.
Hang on, buddy. Yeah, there we go. It's pretty, right? Hey, you know what? I'm gonna teach you how to play guitar when your hands are bigger. And you're not pooping your pants all the time. It's all right. Everybody does it. Got a lot of stories to tell you. When you're older. Much older. I don't even know where to begin. Potato, potato, my little big potato. My potato, my potato, my little buddy potato. What a big boy. Yeah, that's my buddy.